Hi guys, it's Kat here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys. It's been a lovely journey. We just passed 300 views.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, God.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we're actually celebrating yesterday with Nkosnati. So yeah, it's all because of you guys. You made it possible, and I can't thank you enough. And so yeah, please share the videos that I'm about to drop, or any video. Just share the video, comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notification button. Sure, don't forget to turn on the notification button for any videos I upload, so you'll be the first one to get those notifications. So on today's episode, I have Sboniso Siyaya. Sorry. It's Sayia. Yeah, it's Sboniso Sayia. Sboniso Sayia is a real estate agent. He's a founder of a Supreme Stylish Agency, and also a philanthropist. Yeah, he's also a philanthropist. That's his bio, guys. And he's also a student at the University of Johannesburg, currently studying marketing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so as we speak, we are currently in Auckland Park in the Kilimanjaro
Male residence.
Yes. Yeah, so that's it for today. That's the intro, I guess, right? Yeah, so that's the intro. So
yes.
Yeah, before we go into real estate talk, like, tell us, like, where did you grow up and how was your upbringing? Like, tell us about yourself.
Okay,
Yeah.
so originally from Mpumalanga.
Uh-huh.
I was born in Timber Hospital, Nelspruit, and then the first school I ever went to was in Goba Primary School,
Sure.
which is also in Mpumalanga. Then I got to grade 2, then I moved to Gauteng. So when I got to Gauteng, we went to a school in Eastgate, and it's called Eastgate Primary School.
Sure.
So when we got there, my parents were told that the syllabus in Mpumalanga is far behind as compared to the one that they have here in Gauteng.
Sure.
So I had to repeat the grade, and at that time I was only speaking Siswati. Literally, Siswati was the only language I knew.
Yeah.
So Swati was the only language I knew. When I came here, I had to learn Zulu, and at the same time I also had to learn English. But learning Zulu was quite easy because I'm Swati, so it's
kind of
more or less
yeah. I get yes. I get you.
Yeah. So now we went to the school, and I had to repeat that particular grade, and then I spent almost the whole of grade 2 just learning how to speak English because I had to be fluent, and it was a multi-racial school. Sure. English was the home language, and it was compulsory for me to learn English. So
everything is
yes, all the subjects.
I get you.
Yeah. So when I got to grade 4, my parents had to change schools, had to put me in a different school, or rather, let me just put it that way, because it doesn't make sense if I had to.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so they had to put me in a different school.
Okay.
So I got to a school in Germiston that is Primrose Primary School.
Yeah.
So that's why I did my grade 5 up until grade 7. And then I got to grade 7 and I became a school prefect. And then that's when I got a perspective of leadership. And then when I was done with my primary education, I went to Donview High School.
Sure.
Which is also in Germiston. Yes. So from there, a lot of things started picking up, you get new friends. Now it's high school, and that's when adolescence starts, everyone is doing their things, and you find that some people would rather, some of my friends started smoking, some started drinking, because everyone is in that
that stage, in
yeah,
life,
so
where you need to experience everything.
yes,
in your mind, like you think everything that you're doing, you are growing up.
So basically, that's basically, as I was saying, that's where things started picking up. And grade 8, grade 9, I got a job as a mechanic. It was a part-time job. It wasn't when it first started. It wasn't anything serious.
Sure.
It was just changing tires. Nothing too hectic.
Sure.
Maybe and also doing those jump starting jump start a car, terminals, positive and negative and whatnot.
Sure.
Yeah, so it was those things, and then later that year, and then that's when like the person who was teaching me mechanics started going into deeper. Then we started doing what you call this, the timing of the engine. We started putting in the tops. We started what you call this, the exhaust manifold, learning such things, and the catalytic converter and the functions of
so I guess you have a ton of knowledge when it comes to cars.
I'm a petrol head, so I love cars. I love cars.
And as you saw, like today we were driving, and like I told you, this hill that bro, like
because we live in a hill.
Like it was a challenge actually. Topping at that hill, dog.
It was
on gear 2. And you can imagine.
I also enjoyed my time, as a part-time mechanic, because there was a lot of knowledge to grasp.
Sure.
So when I got to grade 10, I was still doing that job. In grade 10 in 2018, I was still doing that, and I was coming home late basically. And when I got to grade 10, I took the craziest stream of subjects. It was accounting, it was physics, it was life science. And every time I tell someone what I'm doing, they'd be like, "Yo, I just turned this school." I
mean, everything.
Yes. But I didn't think like when they say we are starting school, I didn't think they meant like I love studying, but they meant you are starting the school as in, dude, you're still gonna repeat because whatever you took, man.
You're dog like
so I wasn't even thinking about it in that essence. And so, plus I thought I was smart, man. Like, if you're in high school and man, please, unless you really know your stuff, man, just do your maths lit and do your commerce. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you, man. But the only good thing that came out of failing grade 10 was my mindset changed. Like I moved from that adolescent stage I was telling you about, because the mechanics job was also paying me. So whenever I would get money in my neighborhood, Fosterus, there's this thing called the State, which is Fosterus Stadium, and in those times there was something called Live in Color. So I never missed, man. I never missed.
So you were always present.
So even at home, when they didn't allow, I just act as if I'm coming back now, and then boom, they'd call me at around 10, and I'd be like, "Yo, MT's on stage."
So
just when I hear MT perform, then I'll come back. But I always came the next day.
Obviously, I mean that's all. That's what we all did that. We all did that.
Those are the things, man, that contributed to my failure. But I'm not saying that people who groove. I'm saying for me it was time management. Because there are people who groove and they still do very well in school. And that's because maybe those are the only two things they were doing. But me, I had tons of things. It was school, it was mechanics job, and it was also the club party whatsoever. Because there was also another place called Overdose too, and Fosterus, man.
It's the whole
it's the whole vibe, man. But failing grade 10 really changed the whole dynamic of my mindset. Then that's when I noticed, okay, this is not the type of life that I want to live. And then the first business book I've ever read was Rich Dad Poor Dad. And so for someone out there who's looking to change the trajectory of their mindset, I'd extremely and I'd over recommend Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So from there, that's when I've learned how to manage your money, how to think like a business owner and not just the CEO. I've learned that school is not everything. You know, you can also focus on business and also still do well in school. So it's just a matter of time management. So after reading that book, even my friends, because once you fail a grade in, you know, the whole, because with the people I hung with, I was literally the only person that failed, and everybody went. So I had to change my entire circle of friends. So in changing that, because when I failed, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do it all on my own. Gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna pass it really well, and then just gonna be done with high school because I'm just tired. And I was 18 in grade 10, so So life humbled me. It humbled me too early. It humbled me too early. With that being said, I had to change everything, and from the people I hang with to what I read and what I feed my mind. Because when I was in grade 10, 2018, and you were telling me about becoming a school prefect in high school and whatnot, man, there's always getting up as bringing up. Because I wasn't there, man. I wasn't there. It wasn't my, can I put it? It wasn't in my intuition. I wasn't thinking about it at all. So from there, now I started changing my mindset, and I'd be the person who stays, because my parents used to fetch me from school, from primary. From primary, I'd go out of school and wait for them in the library, and I think that's why I developed my love for journalism and reading. And reading. So whenever I'd go to the library, I'd be reading basically mechanics books. I'd also be reading, I also love Bible stories. And what else did I love? Basically, those were the only two things. It was just those. Oh yeah, and also there was like tons of Guinness World Records book that I also loved. Just reading through. So that was up until grade 10. That was until grade 10, 2018. And then now when I was in grade 10 again, season 2, 2019.
Grade 10, season 2.
So when I was doing my grade 10, season 2, I started staying late after school, and because now I had, I still had that mechanics job, and I was also transitioning to real estate. So I had stayed behind, and I'd leave school at around 4. Just for me to grasp the work, because also repeating, I had to change the subjects too. And then when I changed, I did commerce, I did accounting, I did economics, and I did business studies. And now it's business management again, and then it was business studies. Okay, so I fell in love with the stream, man, because with the books I was reading, it was connecting to what I'm actually doing
right now.
Yes, so later in 2019, that's when I started developing my love for real estate. Because at home we'd be watching the home channel, we'd be watching HGTV, Home Guide TV. Yes, so we'd be watching all of these shows, and I fell in love with it. Because even the content that was on the TV, they'd be showing a financial planner, they'd be showing the estate agents, showing people. Basically, they showed people 3 homes, and then they just take them through, and then at the end of the show, they would just pick which one they like best, and then the financial planner would be telling them, this is what's likely to happen if you buy it cash. This is what's likely to happen if you buy it through a financial institution. And so that's when I fell in love with it, because I was already reading business books, and Rich Dad Poor Dad has tons of real estate, as it talks about monopoly. So that's where the love really began. And then I started doing my own research, And then I started focusing merely on the South African version of real estate.
Sure.
Went on to YouTube, I started watching random things, and then that's where I came across the Nom brothers, and they known as Nom Wealth.
Yeah, Nom Wealth.
Nom Wealth.
Nom Wealth. Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
Yeah.
The very first video I watched was property wholesaling.
Okay.
And then watching that video made me fall in love even deeper with real estate, because now I'm thinking, how does one get a property without any money down? And watch property wholesaling.
Yeah.
Basically, you get a property below market value, you negotiate a better price, then you sell that contract to someone else. That's called an end buyer. Then once they buy that particular property, for instance, you found a property for 500,000. You get the contract, then you sell it to someone else for 700,000. Then you make an equity of 200,000. That was the theoretical part, because I thought, wow, so you can make so
money
much
without
money.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm loving where this is going.
Yeah.
And then I came to find that property wholesaling is not as easy as it seems, because you need to have certain things in order for you to actually succeed in it. You need to know your market. You need to at some point you need to have a great credit rating, because if in South Africa, if you're signing a property, an offer to purchase on a property, you're still gonna get pre-qualified, you're still gonna get that's where the credit score comes in. So you need a number of things in order for you to actually venture into such a thing. And so that's when I thought, let me go into real estate as an estate agent. Then I learned about the laws of property and the ethics. I've learned about basically everything that's concerned with property. And back then it was called the EAAB, and that's the Estate Agency Affairs Board. So I went into there, and then I checked, the steps of becoming an estate agent. You have to be signing to a real estate company. You have to serve as an intern for 12 months. You have to pay up for your FFC, and an FFC is a Fidelity Fund Certificate. Without an FFC, you cannot practice property. So an FFC is basically your license to be active in the field. So I've learned about that, and then I've also learned about the NQF level 4, because you need to do within that time as an intern. You need to do your logbook, you need to do your NQF level 4, and you also need to write your PDE exams. So that's those were the very first things which I've learned.
All right, cool.
And then another thing that I saw, because at that time it was late 2019. Before that's by that time we were only hearing about COVID in China, only in the news. We didn't even that was that was in that time. So from there now I started, still in grade 10, man, who's gonna hire me at grade 10? So I thought, because I was thinking maybe I was gonna take it as a part-time thing, but I went to a variety of estate agencies in my neighborhood, and I was rejected. There's one local one also in my neighborhood. That was the very first one I went to. Then she just looked at me and she was like, "Child, you don't even have a CV. You don't have anything."
The yellow brand.
No, I don't want to.
No, I that's why I'm saying it's the one that has the yellow brand. I think I'm.
Nah, let me just, because I don't want to
mention any name.
Yes, I don't want to mention anything.
But then, what do you think they will say if they see you? If they were to see you now, since they rejected you, then what do you think they will say?
Not to toot my own. Is it toot my own horn? Something like that. Whatever that saying is, but I have quite a number of agencies that want me to work with them.
Right now.
Like right now, I accompanied my friend to a job interview. I think it was last week. The second the lady found out who I was, she was like, "Dude, leave that agency and come work for us." Wow. And I told them, "Nah, I'm loyal to the brand." Because the principal of my agency is also someone who's, because now he's my mentor, so I can't, no matter what the circumstances, I can't leave what I've built with the agency I'm with for another company. Yeah. So
before we continue, we continue,
yeah,
I just want us to go a bit back. Yeah?
Yes.
So since you chose this subject, yeah, the
Yes.
subjects that you chose, so
yes.
what was your goal, DJ? What did you want to
What was my
do?
goal?
Yeah, like what after, let's say, without the real estate, yeah, because
Yes.
the real estate came after you
Yes.
chose those subjects. But what did you want to become? Like, let's say,
To be honest,
yeah.
my mother was the one who was like, yo, yangali.
Yeah.
She was like, yakubona mfana wami yakuhlula lento.
Yeah.
Ngcono nje uyengali.
And which is Mali?
Business,
Oh,
business
okay.
studies, economics and accounting.
But when, let's say for when, I'm sure
Yes.
like at the very young age, like, or
Yes.
maybe in grade 9, what was your dream job?
In grade 9.
Or maybe, let's say from in primary going to high school, what was your dream job? Or were you just going with the flow?
Yo, you're gonna laugh, my God.
Because you having to choose these kinds of subjects,
Yeah.
I'm sure like you had a plan with, okay, if I choose this accounting,
Yes.
physics and maths, you
Yes.
had a plan with, okay, I want to actually achieve this. What was that plan?
The plan was basically I wanted to be a doctor. That was my goal. I wanted to be going to physics and life science.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you know what, I'll become a doctor.
Yeah.
Because I looked at my grade 9 report, man, and my mom was like, yeah, your results are good, but they're not good enough. I'd strongly recommend you take math split. I was like, yo. Plus, in high school, you know, whenever someone is like doing math split, you tend to underestimate
Yeah.
So
True.
that was also a social perspective that made me to venture into pure math.
Sure.
So I was like, nah, you know what, I'm smart, I can handle this. And I took it because I'm thinking, George Bezos. I was thinking this was cool. I was just going into something that because in when we were in that class, like whenever they were giving out results, they'd be calling your name, and I think the pass mark was like 30%.
Pass mark, even now, I think even now.
Yeah. So they were like, maybe they call.
No, isn't it 40? Like 40% is 50, right?
40% it's for English, and then the other subjects.
Oh, it's 30. Yeah, you're right. Cool. Yeah.
So now when you're there. So whenever we were in that class and they call your name and we're doing pure, like we're in the maths class, and they call your name and they're like 30, and you just see people just for a 30%, you know, because there's not gonna be a red circle or a red dot on your report. That's all you're excited about. And when I think about it now, it's not worth it. It's really not, because you live your life getting the 30s and then you're done with school, you don't even get taken in
varsity.
You can get taken in colleges because they want your money. But someone who actually sees that, you know what, with these certain marks you can actually qualify to do so and so and so and so. And I'm not saying that's the right thing. I'm saying in terms of proving yourself on paper that you can actually handle a workload of such a faculty university. So if you don't get the required marks in high school, then it's really going to come and bite you. It's gonna come and bite you in future. So from there, after failing, my mother was just like, mfanam, as in bonile, ngikusupportile, and I just tell my subject lawa, because my report is called So from there, I just took those subjects, went with it. I've been begging distinctions.
Yo, dog. Yeah.
The first time I went on stage for prize giving was after I took those subjects.
Sure.
And then like, okay, now I'm getting to go to prize givings.
Yeah.
Then my circle would be people not to say the friends I had when I bright, but in terms of academics. Yes. So I changed that particular mindset, and then from there came to after realizing now, back to what I was saying.
Cool.
Yeah, so after checking those laws by the estate agency affairs board, then I saw one loophole, and that loophole was you cannot be considered doing an illegal activity in real estate if you only referring people, you know.
I don't understand.
Okay, let me put it to you like this. Isn't it I said that I found out the procedure for becoming an estate agent, and you need to have an FFC, which is a Fidelity Fund certificate, and that serves as a license to practice real estate. If you practice real estate without that particular license, by law you forfeit the commission, meaning you could work hard and you get nothing, zero. And to top it all off, if the owners feel like they were violated because they gave the biggest asset to someone without a license, you could go to prison. You could serve a 5-year sentence in prison. So I've studied all that, and then and then another thing that came up was there's nothing wrong with referring people. Just, hey man, I know you're an estate agent. Listen man, I have someone who's looking to sell their house. How much will you give me if I give it to them and you close? So basically that's how I worked from the end of 2019, 2020, COVID hit. The interest rates were the low, like long time, the long time lowest.
7%, right?
It was around in the 7s or
7. I remember. It was 7%.
It was around there.
COVID.
So we kept on referring. You know, people were excited. Hey, it's more cheaper to buy a house than to rent. You know what? I'll just go to the bank and then and then that's also when I think FNB released a statement saying that like 12 people can apply for a house. And just keep going crazy, and then just keep on referring, man. And then I also got like companies. There was, because in the townships there's surgeries, you know, doctors look for a property to turn it into, like, we call it a surgery. Maybe it's a mini hospital, I don't know, but I'd also find such properties for them. And then in my mind I was thinking it's all property, but then now when I come to think of it, that one was commercial because it serves a business purpose, and then the other one is, you know, residential because you know, just a roof it's just on the roof above your head that individual actually live in. And then that's when I look back at it now, that's now like, okay, now I can identify this one is residential, this one is commercial, that one is luxury and whatnot. So we kept on referring. Why am I saying we? But I kept on referring. If you know, when you're part of a team, it's always we. I mean, as a leader, you can't always say I. I just kept on referring people, and then I'd get my commission, refer people, I get my commission. But the first deal I made, I want to go into that. I want to ask with, like, what was the first? The first one. What was the first? It was first that you made. It wasn't. I wasn't referring to an agent. I actually just went to the owner. Like, hey, I saw your house on the market. Listen, I know an estate agent is gonna charge you the whole deposit, but you can work with me. Then I'll just charge you like $500 because you have no risk. You're not paying me. You only pay me once I bring in someone, and you already have someone whom you're paying the full deposit, marketing the property for you. So you have absolutely no risk. I'm the one who's risking everything. You know, I just had to convince her, but she didn't know that I'm not licensed. In my mind, I'm
you have to do what you gotta do in order to get the bread. Yeah, whether it's legal or illegal.
Yeah.
However, we don't promote it. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to make it big, like you need to start somewhere.
If you listen to this, if you're listening, I mean, you're a big boy, you're a big girl, and you know exactly what's gonna happen if you don't abide by the laws.
True.
It's all up to you. But what I'm saying is, it's always better to be on
the right side of the law.
Yes, I took a loophole. I didn't break the law.
Yeah.
I took a loophole. It's like bending.
Bending.
Yes, I wasn't breaking any laws because I didn't take a full commission. Basically, it was a referral fee. Yes. So, she gave me an opportunity. They're giving me an opportunity, and this house was in Hlongwane section in Katlehong. So she gave me an opportunity. I posted it on Facebook.
So she was selling, or
she was renting. She was renting it.
Oh,
okay. She needed a tenant for her bedrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I found her someone in such a short amount of time. It's short, not short period of time.
Yeah.
In such a short period of time, and then from there, the person came. I was like, okay, you know what, Sboniso, I love the place. What's the way forward?
Yeah.
She said, no, you know what, you can just secure it with a deposit. And then she paid the deposit. And from there, you know, I was like, okay, first deal, maybe. And just went home. Then now, after
500,
no, it wasn't in my pocket yet. So it was just, I love it, I'll pay. Because the deal with the owner was after everything is paid, deposit, and, you know. Yeah, and then later that as we're approaching the end of the month in that particular year, she came back and paid the full rent. So now she had paid the full rent and the deposit, and then from there I got paid. Oh shit, man, there's something irritating.
Get water.
It's in the fridge.
Okay.
Will you be able to carry?
Yeah.
So later that month of that particular year, she came back, paid the rent. So now it was the total amount, the deposit and the rent, the first month's rent.
Sure.
Then I went to that lady. I had $50 in my pocket when I was going there. So I went, took a taxi from Ayanda to Krizani, from Krizani to Hlongwane.
Ayanda primary school, ne? Ayanda is preschool.
It's a crash.
It's a crash.
It's close to the Tulwazi.
Yeah.
Secondary.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then went there, and then I got paid my money, and then that's when I felt like, yo, didn't have to put in any money down. I didn't have to spend anything on marketing. I just posted a thing on my social media, and then I got a buyer, and then from there I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm killing it.
After that first commission, killing.
That's when I was like, you know what, mechanics is not paying enough as compared to real estate.
Yeah. And how much were you getting paid at the mechanics job?
It depends, man. It depends. If we're doing a certain job, we'd get like $300. If we're doing a certain job, we'd get like $150. If we're doing a certain job, it was paying, but you know, as a child, that was a lot of money because I didn't get much money from my parents. So when I look at it, it was a lot of money. Plus, I was working for it. It's not like it came in some other way. You know, this is my own hard work, and then I received that money. But when I made the first commission, I was like, I didn't have to put in any
energy.
Yes, it was purely admin work. So I quit, man. I quit
on the mechanic job.
Just quit.
Yeah.
So I had to leave it. I was like, you know what, I'm making enough money, so to the loop, man. It was nice having. Thank you for having me. I learned a lot, but I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I was like, thank you, man. Thanks a lot. With your help, I even learned everything about mechanics, and I helped my father with his car when he was breaking down. So it taught me a lot. So now when I was going there, it wasn't for working, it was just for hanging. You know, we'd just go there. When they done working, we'd go to Esimunye, we'd get a few, just blom and talk, because we built a relationship too.
Sure.
It wasn't just you come, you work, you wear your overalls, you work, you finish, you go home, you take your bath. It was even after work, you know, because they were right there in my neighborhood. So those are the people whom I'd say I have the longest relationship with.
Sure.
Yeah. So even though I quit, many understood, you know, chasing something that I love. You know, I'm pursuing my own dream now, because I had a realization that, you know what, I'm actually good in this, and I want to see how far I can take this. And I just kept on referring people, I kept on pushing. Then I came to grade 12. In grade 12, that was when now I got selected to be the president of my school. So now it was the presidential work, it was real estate, and it was also the pressure of matric. And I had to find the proper time management to balance that. So certain times I'd be doing real estate, certain times I'd be sleeping, certain times I'd be focusing on my schoolwork. But my schoolwork was purely done over the night. 2021 was I'd say 2021 was the year whereby I spent a lot of time not sleeping. Yeah. School.
Did that work out though?
It worked out. I mean, look at where I am
I
now.
see that.
It shows that the
took
system
a lot from you. Like
it took everything. It took everything. And then I had to, like, because my mom was even worried. Like, dude, you sleep at 3 and then 4 you wake up, you take a bath, and then like, how? Because
how's your mental state?
You're gonna have a mental breakdown. Because at some point, really, I'd go to school only having slept 1 hour. So, but when I got there, man, I got there and did what I came here for, you know. And there was, I know, matric, man, there's also some peer pressure that you don't understand. Because now in matric, people want farewells, people want, you know.
And now the presidential title, you need to be there. And
every all eyes were on me from the educators, you know. Whenever you do something wrong, you are a president.
You can't be doing
you can't be caught doing certain things. So that's when I've learned the value of, you know, acting your part. You cannot just have a position, but you also need to act out that position. You need to lead people by example, and you need to provide. How can I put it? You need to provide leadership that's quality.
Sure.
Yes.
Don't just do it.
You can't just just to be known for the blazer, because it wasn't about the blazer. It came with many badges and many scrolls, and I did business studies. Did be what. So it wasn't for that, but it was for how can we change the system of the school and make it better for the upcoming president of the school. Then from there, we also raised money. It was for the first time ever in my school. We actually had a school camp, but the school camp wasn't an overnight thing. People would come and study. There'd be classes. Also, we also got the government to fund it. I think the government funded 42,700 somewhere there. Because we pushed it. I had to fight with the SGP of the school. They were like, hey, this has never been done. What about COVID-19 and whatnot? And I told them, you know what? Ever since we've been here, we come up with solutions, and all we do is tell us about COVID-19. But let me just put it to you in a perspective you understand. Please wait until the reports are handed out, and and you'll see what the pass rates of the matriculants are, and then you'll tell me if you still want us to host this or not. Kept on pushing, and I had a lovely team, man. Like each and every single one of them, they were pushing. So that's what I love. I think I was blessed to have a team of people who are also working towards a vision. You know, because I've heard of previous presidents, they'd be like, yo, you lucky, man. I my team, the minute they got their blazers, they went on about it, you know. But with me, I had a lovely team. I can't say any, and I'd be lying if I ever said anything bad about the team I had. It was just a lovely team. So we helped each other, we grew it, and then the government funded it, people attended, and then we also got, I think we achieved, our goal was we want to achieve 90, anything above 97 pass rate.
Okay.
But we missed it dismally. And we missed it. I also couldn't believe because of all the hard work we put in.
And what did the SGP say after you getting those dismal results?
It was better because it grew as compared to the previous years.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
we may have not hit that target, but as compared to the previous years, it was higher. It was 88%.
But that's good though.
It's not. Don't want to lie. It's not.
Okay.
No, not that I'm being disrespectful, but
I
I love it when everybody passes. You know, and if you fail, then maybe it would have been because of something that's out of your control.
Sure.
You know, that's why we were pushing. That's why we had the government fund all of this. That's why, because we even had we even made fundraisers too as a team to like help the underprivileged children in our school. So we'd make the school a service, and then in exchange they bring non-perishable foods like your rice, and then we just give that away to the underprivileged children who attend our school. So we also brought that culture into the school, and I'm hoping that
still continue.
But I try. You know the person whom I left behind. She was one phenomenal person, and she's also a philanthropist.
Sure.
So I trust her. You know, when it comes to doing that particular work, literally she's the one person whom I can call any time of the day, and she'll be done for anything as long as it's doing the work of a philanthropist. So I left it in very good hands.
Sure. And we trust. What's the name?
It's Owami Khafani. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Owami. We trust you. You're doing very well.
So
let's go into real estate now.
Yes,
so
I was still pushing.
Okay. I have a question before we continue. Yes. So which real estate hired you? Like who saw the first potential with
that's how I want
because if that lady saw with you're just a kid, you don't have anything, like who saw potential in you?
Okay, as I was getting into, as I was in grade 11 and I still kept on building, I had built relationships with agents from the very first time I started. And then they saw my consistency, and then they were like, no, you know what, we can pull up something for you and you can come work with us. And at that time it wasn't there anymore, you know, like the thing of because I was in matric the first time the time I got multiple offers, but in grade 11 it was a suggestion, and you know, you follow up on something and then the person doesn't get back to you, then I just let it go, and I kept on referring people. Grade 12 I met, real estate is all about relationships. I recently got the phone, but I already have like over 1,000 contacts because I do cold calling every day, and you know, and I build relationships too with homeowners. So from there now, it was a thing of, hey, I've seen your work, and you know what, you can come into my agency. And the very first person who said that was someone whom I thought was going to be my mentor, because we were really close. and he worked for Property Cosa.
Okay.
So he said, you know what, I can get you an interview, and you're gonna come, you're gonna work with us. And I said, oh, okay. And then later that month, and this was last year. This was last year. Later that month, someone else comes. She's from Royal Homes. Hey, you bring a lot of people. You know what? He is someone who's dedicated and who works hard. Come to my agency. Then now, you know, it wasn't the pressure of wanting to be in an agency. You know, it was the pressure of choosing which one do I want to be, do I want to work with. And then from there, because I was still with my mentor at the time. We still have a relationship today. And then, her name is Lisa.
Sure.
Yeah, we also closed on some properties with her, but rental properties.
Sure.
We came to, there's another property in Leopard's Rest that we were closing. And then she introduced me to the person who's my principal now, and that's Sboniso Gunene.
Sure.
Yeah, and then she told Winston about me, about my age, about me being in high school, and how persistent or consistent I am in real estate, and how determined I am to actually build my career.
Sure.
And then we exchanged numbers with Winston. And then by the time I was writing my final exams, I had already signed with his company, and that's Libertalia Real Estate.
Sure.
Up until today. And ever since I signed there, it's been, you know, listings after listings. And now I don't have to hide behind anyone through referrals. Now I can come to you directly and say, hey, look, are you looking to buy or sell? Or you looking to rent, maybe, you know, and I just kept on building from there. And the first time I came in here, because now I'm in Johannesburg, and Soweto is close to Johannesburg. I sold my first property with Libertalia the first week I came in here. And I was in Soweto. We got a cash buyer and closed on the spot.
Okay, I mean, I know what you don't like talking about this topic, but
yes.
However, for someone who wants just to know you, if you remember, like, how much was your, if since you signed in with the agent,
yes,
how much did you make at first?
At first.
The first commission, like the real commission, now that you're in real estate.
Yes, the very first one is
closed. Now
is a registered estate agency under a company. I was still, because, you know, he gave me an opportunity. He gave me an opportunity.
Sure.
But, you know, an opportunity means, you know what, I'm giving you a chance because I've seen your talent, but you're gonna have to work your way up. So I started on a 50-50 split, and I was cool with it.
Yeah.
You know, I was just happy to be in an environment where there's a lot of youngsters who are like me, you know, who are So I was cool with it, and we signed. By the time I signed the deal, there was another agent involved too. So that's another split on its own. It's if there's two estate agencies involved, it's 50-50. So this would mean that 50-50, then it's 25-25 between me and Libertalia. So it was 25-25, and then we had to pay franchise fees. I had to pay because we were in association with Keller Williams at that time.
Okay.
So when you're under another agency, there's franchise fees that have to be paid.
Okay.
And then we had to pay those franchise fees, and then after that it was tax, and then it was VAT. By the time, you know, I was looking at my net income, it was I was devastated because when I closed the deal, I was thinking, maybe I'm looking at I understand there was 2 agencies in the deal. Maybe I'm looking at plus minus 15, plus minus 12. I was even so ecstatic. I was telling my principal about it. So I calculated this is what I'm likely to get, you know. But I didn't take in mind, you know,
all those
other
deductions.
The commission slip came. Then I looked at it and I was like, so that's it. Don't even know where that money went.
And how much was it?
It was
the net after everything that you paid.
It was plus minus 8 or 9 or 10,000.
I mean, at grade 12, 10,000.
Dude.
At grade 12, dude. Come on. Dude.
No, I just got here.
Yeah, I mean, man, for someone who's like close his first deal, I mean, 10K would be. I mean,
the thing
something
is,
to celebrate. I mean, you've never held so much cash, right? Or am I wrong?
No, you're wrong. That's the thing I loved about referring.
Yeah. Okay. So in referring, you made even more.
Yeah, because I wasn't paying any franchise. I wasn't paying any tax. So the money that was coming directly to me from the agent. You know. Yeah. So, and that's how agencies are. Well, estate agents are in the township. So as long as you're referred, they look at you and they say, you know what, we can work out something. I don't mind giving you 50 because the agents whom I closed deals with, I had close relationships with them. Okay. So they treated me as if, you know, I'm a registered estate agent. And then we negotiated and said, you know what, I do the work as much as you do the work. So although I may not have this, but I think it's fair for you just because I also bring deals and I'll bring buyers too. So it was 50-50. Kept on referring. The first 10K I made was in
this guy.
When was it? It was in grade 12, man, before I signed. It was in grade 12. Thing is, I'm trying to remember the exact date. Because the thing is, I remember I left school that day just to go deposit some money. Like, I had money in the bank and I also had some in my pockets. So, and we were writing prelims. We were writing prelims. I don't remember when was it, between August to September. I don't remember when the prelims were. But that was when I made
10K.
Yes.
Okay.
So after the prelim, because when you're writing prelims, you know, it's mostly write and go. They let you.
Okay.
Because now I even had like I think I still have them on my iCloud. I used to be that guy who just takes videos of money.
I mean, it's your first dough you've ever made.
Like,
so really you want
I
to
remember
flash,
putting it in on my. There's a thing I call my office back at home. Basically, it was just in a corner. It was something similar to this. It was like a table for a computer.
Sure.
Yeah, so that was my working space. So when I put that money in there, it was just all over the table. We took videos, and then the background song was blessings, money from me and my niggas from the 6. Look at what we did. You know,
it's fun.
Big Sean. It was in the background. You know, we just kept on taking videos. I mean, that was the like. You know, like that feeling like, you know what, I'm making money. That was the first time I got that feeling. And then it just kept on going till grade 10 up until I signed that offer. And then now I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to be making such, so and so and so. And I got it, and then I was like, Because for a minute I was thinking, what did I get myself into? Because now I'm thinking, so every time I close a deal, there's always going to be these deductions, and, you know.
But then I guess you are here now making way more than that.
From there, man, I spoke to. I actually spoke because that money I made, to me it was basically a rental money. It was like, yo, this is like I rented a property.
Sure.
Yeah, you can't say you sold the property and showed your sleep, man. But we worked it out, man. Because he's my mentor. Even today he's my mentor.
So now
I was like, you know what, this is what's happening, but it's life, man. At particular times you get
it's part of the process. It's part of the process.
But by then I was devastated. I didn't close anything for months. I don't want to lie. I didn't close anything.
And how was it then? Like going through that, not closing any deals, no money coming in. How did you handle that situation, and how did you keep your state of mind in the right place? What motivated you to keep going actually?
Yeah, so basically it was as I was saying, I was like, it's not worth it. Because I have a friend. She's a very close friend of mine. Her name is Toli, with the same age. By the time I got in, she was already in because she finished school earlier than me. Yeah, so and I remember at some point when I had signed with Libertalia, we were in a North event in Midrand.
Sure.
She was like, yo, it's not worth it. I just laughed, I laughed. Yeah, up until I got that first paycheck, and then the first thing that came to me was like, yo, she was right. Yeah, it's not.
It's not, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. But then you know what? I left it for some. I didn't even leave it. Let me not say I left it because I didn't leave it. What I did was I just kept content going. I kept marketing, and then here and there. I didn't make deals, but it was mostly time wasters. Because in real estate, you're gonna realize there's a whole lot of time wasters, and the people you think now, you like, because there's people who go into real estate and they say, I know a lot of people, it's gonna be easier for me. Those people you think they want to show you the true colors. Get a business, and a stranger will support you far more than someone who knows. Will actually support you. And so, we just kept on going because there's nothing much we can do. Let's just keep on going. And then the next deal came up, but this deal was, how can you put it? The first commercial one. Yeah, first commercial
deal.
Yes.
Where you got your full commission alone. Or there's also a 50-50 split as well?
Nah, there's because to be honest, it's still in the process.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that deal, it's for a filling station. So now it's no more splitting up with this person. It's no more this is a recent thing, by the way. It's no more splitting commissions and whatnot. It's just purely me and the agency. And once it closes, let me know it. I don't know what. Yeah,
so I don't know. I just wanted to find out. Yeah. So now you are at a point whereby everything.
Now everything is perfect now. Plus, the agencies grow. If you're a team player, and because the only thing that makes me happy is, actually that was not. Why am I even saying fast forward 2 weeks? Okay, I'll get back to it. So when you're a team player, the only thing that would make me happy is seeing the growth of other agents. So now going back to what I wanted to say before the filling stations even came along, I landed another commercial deal, and that's in the Riversense Outlet Park.
Sure.
So those are rental units, and rental units for how can I put it, warehousing rental units. So it's only for commercial purposes. It's where companies can store their goods. It's where if you are a mechanic, but if you're in the automobile industry and you build parts and anything related to cars, that's your place. So lending that one, brought it to the team, and seeing people happy, because now we have listings as a team, and we all from the same field. We still learning. We all young basically, so we don't have as many listings, but bringing that one to the team and seeing how they embraced it and how they were more than willing to market it, that's when I saw that it's not only about you as an estate agent, but it's about the team too, because if you take care of the team takes care of you. So it's more like two-way street. You give, I take, and then I also give, and then you take.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. And then after that, that's when filling stations started coming in. So the money only became right from that River Sands one, because we're still pushing it today, and we're still going to be making money out of it. And the filling stations is just to top it off and say, it took a lot for me to get here, and still gonna take a lot for me to actually keep going.
Because you actually sell high-end houses and commercial.
Yes.
Commercial
real estate.
Right? Yeah, you actually sell high-end. Now, however, let's go back to where we started.
Yes.
You mentioned that no wealth.
Yes.
The first video you saw was wholesale property.
Yeah, property wholesaling.
Take us through that. Take us through the wholesaling property. How does it work? Because you mentioned that for someone like me, let's say, who doesn't have 5 million to invest in a property or to buy property, how do I go and do that? Let's say for someone who's watching as well.
Yes. With that being said, hence I said it's one of the things that led me to become an estate agent, because I thought the thing is, once people look at American content, they automatically think it's the same as South Africa. In South Africa, it's a completely different story. So in SA, basically, theoretically speaking, you find a property under market value, you get it under contract. After getting it under contract, yes, under contract, as in you put an offer on it.
Let's say you said it undervalued.
Yes.
So undervalued meaning?
Undervalue meaning it's below the market price. So if certain properties in a particular area are selling at
500k,
let's say 700k. They're selling at 700k. Then you find that property and you negotiate the property down to maybe 600k or 500k.
Okay.
So now it's 100k or 200k below the market value.
Okay.
So you find such properties are distressed property, which goes back to what I was saying earlier in the video. There's a distressed seller and there's a distressed property. Distressed seller is if maybe there's a divorce and they need to quickly sell, or if they're relocating and they need to quickly sell, they're willing to sell below market value. Then distressed properties, it's those houses you think are haunted because they have tall grasses, there are cracks, the paint is old and whatnot. Basically that's the whole idea of it. You find such properties of such sellers, then you get them to sell the property below market value. So if the market value, as I said, was 700,000, that's the market value. You get them to sell the property for around those, and then you get that under contract, then sell it to someone else at, maybe it could still be under market value, but you're looking to make some money. So let's say you got them to sell it at 600,000. You sell that particular contract to someone else, and you tell them it's 650. They pay that 650. Seller gets the money. They pay to the escrow account. Basically, that's like the deeds office. And then, so in the escrow account, they're the ones who know how to delegate the funds. Which funds is going to the owner, which funds are going to whoever made the deal happen.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you got them to sell, remember it's 700,000 market value. If you got them to sell at 600,000, you sell that contract to someone else for 650,000, and you make 50.
Okay.
So that's the theoretical part of property wholesaling.
So where do I actually get this contract now? Who
Hence
should
I said it's the laws are quite different. Here you just need a license to sell property. And according to the law, only people who can sell, it's if you're an owner or if you're an estate agent. Then the only loophole is there's nothing wrong with referring people. So now the question becomes, if you were to give it to an estate agent, how much would you make as compared to if you just find a seller on your own and sell that contract? But then now that particular contract, you basically need your own attorney to draft that contract. So you need to find an attorney, and they are gonna charge you because they're drafting your contract. Yeah, so. Let me just say in context that's the overall of property wholesaling.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I get you. Yes. So it's a bit of a challenge.
Yes. You need to do. It's called driving for dollars. Basically, you just go around the neighborhood looking for such properties. And then take down the address. And here's another problem too. You take down the address, and you need Lightstone. Basically, Lightstone gives you all the information about the property as soon as you put in the address. Now, you basically don't have that resource, but when you could have it, you need to pay a certain fee.
And Lightstone, because I did, after you told me about Lightstone, I did actually went to Lightstone and checked.
You need to pay a certain
fee actually to access that information.
Yes. So if you're under an estate agency, that's a resource to you. You don't pay for it. So that's part why I went to becoming an estate agent. But I love property as a whole. So I'm working to build my portfolio, and I've built it, but I still have to build it even more. I'm looking to use that money and get my own property portfolio, because you can't keep on selling houses and not even own a couple of your own.
Yeah, true.
So basically my life is dedicated to property. Anything outside of property, it's none of my concern.
Okay, cool. So let's say now for someone who wants to invest into property,
yes,
can you, let's say I buy a house, maybe for an example in Katlo.
Yes.
Can that house depreciate? Because they always say, Robert Kiyosaki once said, you might buy a house, then that house become
depreciate.
Yes,
it can because the people think that since it's a property, it doesn't go down in value, but that's not the truth. The truth is, the property only appreciates if it's well maintained. By well maintained, I mean you keep it up to standard. You ensure that you always cleaning your roof. You ensure that it's paved. You ensure that there are no cracks on the wall. You ensure that you change the color of the house every now and then. You just ensure that it looks good all the time. Because what happens is, when we're looking at other properties now, and this is how we also determine the price of a property. We look at the square meters. We also basically look at the size of the registered square meters of the yard.
Sure.
Also look at the condition of the property too. But the important one is the square meters of the yard. And then if we see that a certain house is sitting at 700 square meters, we look in the area, and then we check at other properties that were sold in the previous maybe in the previous 5 months or so, and then we see what price those properties were sold at, and then from there, that's when we can say, okay, if most of them were sold at maybe $1 million, then most probably it means your property too is also worth $1 million. If your property is how can I put it? If your property is also within those particular standards, and it's also a 700 square meters, but you did not maintain it, there are cracks on the walls. Oh, we actually view the property now, and what I'm talking about, so I'm kind of relating to it.
Sure.
Yeah, so that property has a lot of defects on it. If you look at the wall, there's what you call this? The wall looks like the paint of the wall. It looks like it's just tearing off. Like it just needs to be scraped and then started all over again. And the owner wanted a certain amount because he saw another property being sold for that. But when you look at the condition of that property, it was worth that money. But then if you look at this one, you can clearly see that there's still a lot of work to be done to ensure that this property is well refurbished. So that's when the value of your property depreciates, because it has defects for starters, and then number two, it's just not well kept. So those are the things that make your property lose value.
And what about the environment? Does the environment have it? Does it
Yes.
have yeah?
So with the environment, we're looking at the crime rate of the area. We're looking at accessibility. What are the close amenities of that particular area? We also looking at basically the state of the neighborhood, the cleanliness, what type of houses are around that particular neighborhood. If it's nice houses here, but then you cross the road or you go a couple of miles and then there's shacks built in there, then it makes the value of that area just depreciate. So you locate. This is why there's a show called Location, because the location of the property is very important. For instance, you could take a double story in the township going for maybe 2 million. You take that very same double story and put it in somewhere in 4 ways, and then it will be selling for like 4, even double the figures. So that's how important location is when it comes to a property. Yes.
Okay. I get you. So maybe. Okay. Wait. We will come back to that.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. What advice would you give, let's say, someone who wants to like invest? Since the banks like always. Do you think it's wise to actually combine money and go take a home loan to actually start
a property? Isn't like a property stock fell. It's
property stock fell, not really. But then I want to own a property myself.
Yes.
You understand? I want to own a property, and mind you, I have you as a friend. Dog, let's combine. Or can you please use your money in my account like for 3 months?
Wait, as in get someone who's going to be a co-applicant for you.
Co-applicant, not really. I want to go take a home loan now.
Yes.
Dog, please, whatever you earn, put it in my salary for the next 3 months. Is it possible to do that?
For the next 3 months?
Yeah, let's say now.
You don't have
a good credit, I have everything, and then now I need the bank to see what, okay, I'm making, maybe I earn 5k.
Yes.
But now I need the bank to see what I'm earning, maybe 20k. I take your property, or I take your money, put it in my account, then let's go take a home loan. Is that possible?
Is it possible? But what is the consistency of it? Because you also will need to provide bank statements, and bank statements reveal where that money is coming from.
Yeah, but okay. But imagine there is those
because now you remember you're giving us your FICA documents. Your FICA document is your ID, proof of registration, your proof of income, payslips, and also
you need a payslip, or
you need a payslip. If you're employed, you need a payslip, and you also need your bank statements. So if you go to the bank earning 5,000 and you need them to believe that you earn 20,000, they immediately going to see through the payslip, basically. And then if now you're saying you have other money, you need to to provide proof that you have a business that's bringing you this much money, and to provide that business, they'll ask for 6 months bank statements or 6 months proof of income from that particular business to ensure, because the goal of financial institution is they want to see consistency in the money that you own. You can't say you're self-employed and only provide 3 months proof of income, because if you're self-employed, at certain times you can earn even 100k, at certain times you can only earn 10k, at certain times you won't earn any money. So it's inconsistency of income, but we need to see that the money you earn is actually enough to cover whatever you're going to be paying for that bond.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now it makes sense.
Yes.
So, mind you, since we can't do that, yeah. So, what advice would you give us if we want to go into property investment and we want to?
Okay. For starters, before I go into that, can I quickly just explain the process of purchasing a property, because
cool.
it's imperative to that advice I'm going to give if you want to become an investor.
Sure.
So first of all, you need to get pre-qualified and you need to get pre-approved. Similar things but very different.
Sure.
Pre-qualified, we're looking at how much you likely to get. Pre-approved, you're looking at this is how much we're willing to give you. You know. And before even those, okay, it's fine, it's still in order. Then you still need to clean your credit score, because your credit score is very vital. If you don't have money, if you're not a cash buyer, your credit score is very vital when it comes to
purchasing a property.
So financial institutions look at the previous 2 years of how you're behaving in terms of your finances. If you were taking, if you had a credit card and you've been maxing out that particular credit card, then it's very bad for what